Hey everyone, and welcome back to our story corner. Today, we're re-diving into a classic tale about two very different neighbors, a clever fox and a graceful stork. Deep in a lush green jungle, a cunning and rather selfish fox lived right next door to a kind-hearted stork. One sunny morning, the fox had a mischievous idea. He decided to invite the stork over for dinner. The stork, a bit surprised but always polite, happily accepted the invitation. That evening, the stork arrived at the fox's den and tapped on the door with his long, slender beak. The fox swung the door open with a wide grin. A wonderful aroma of delicious soup filled the air, making the stork's tummy rumble. He was so hungry. The fox, playing a little trick, made the stork wait for a very long time, making him even hungrier. Finally, the fox brought out the soup. But, oh dear, he served it in two very shallow bowls. The fox lapped up his soup in seconds, smirking the whole time. But the poor stork, with his long beak, couldn't get a single drop. The bowl was just too flat. He could only dip the very tip of his beak in without getting any of the tasty soup. Feeling disappointed and still very hungry, the stork politely thanked the fox and went home with an empty stomach. But the stork was not just polite. He was also wise. He decided it was time to teach the fox a little lesson about kindness. So, the following week, the stork invited the fox over for dinner. The fox, thinking he was the cleverest creature in the jungle, eagerly accepted. He trotted over to the stork's home, his nose twitching at the smell of a delicious stew. He thought to himself, the stork isn't as sly as I am. He won't be able to fool me. As the fox was daydreaming about the wonderful meal, the stork came out carrying two tall, narrow jars filled to the brim with the savory stew. The fox's mouth watered. The stork gracefully dipped his long beak into his jar and began to enjoy the meal. The fox, however, was in a bit of a pickle. He tried to get his snout into the jar, but the neck was far too narrow. He could only lick the outside of the jar and sniff the delicious aroma. He pushed and he nudged, but it was no use. The stew remained just out of his reach. The fox had to watch as the stork finished every last bit of the stew. His stomach growled loudly, and his face turned red with embarrassment. He had been so sure of his own cleverness, but the stork had outsmarted him completely. With his tail between his legs and his stomach completely empty, the fox had to go home. He finally understood how the stork must have felt at his dinner party. He realized that treating others poorly can come right back to you. The fox learned a valuable lesson that day. One bad turn deserves another. And it's always best to treat others with the same respect and kindness you do want for yourself. And that's the story of the fox and the stork. A great reminder to always be considerate of others. What did you think of the stork's plan? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories. See you next time.